Hi, this is Bill. So on our previous demos, we've showed you how to use GlideRecord in creating record dynamically any type of table, passing dynamic parameters. And we also showed that on how to update a record. And now we will be demonstrating how to get the record, how to get a single record by passing a sysID. So we will be applying the same techniques that you can pass any type of table with your chosen field or parameters to return to you. It could be a single or multiple parameters that you would like to return, giving you the flexibility to reuse to get a single record using this code. And as we move forward, we are using the sysID since this is the unique identifier of the record, using the repository pattern to separate the concerns on calling database calls and complementing with a base class or a service, which is GlideRecordHelper. And as you can see on the last line, we have returned a single record with the corresponding fields that we decide to get. And all of this is recorded in system logs, to giving you the flexibility to view the behavior of your users in your application. So let us get started on showing you the script using the script's background. As you can see, that we managed to tell the system using the BaseLogger, ensuring that we know and can be able to trace the behavior of the user and the same time of our application. And as we call the repository pattern, and in this case it's IncidentRepository, now passing the system ID using the getBySysID function. And we ensure and always verify that the patterns of our code is correct. And if it is successful, then we get the response data and be able to manage the return. It could be a display or passing it to another API. And as we move forward to the incident repository, which is created inside the scripts include for a global reusable script, depending on your purpose, the accessibility of your script includes can be global or can be this scope only. And as we scroll down and make the script editor bigger, we have used the dependency injection technique. So we could basically inject the GlideRecordHelper in any repository class. Now, since the GlideRecordHelper is using the GlideRecord object, so dynamically we can pass any table, passing it to the object as it creates the instance, and applying the same techniques with the BaseLogger. And on this example, we use the getBySysID. Let's scroll down, and as we pass the system ID, you will see that we are already logging that this functionality has now been called. And you'll see here that the GlideRecordHelper contains the get1 function where you can dynamically pass any sysID, and at the same time, we have standardized this array of parameters to be returned in our caller. And now returning true if successful, and providing the data on a successful return by the GlideRecord. And now let us move forward with the GlideRecordHelper. And as we expand the script editor, as you can see that we have called the wrapper from the incident repository reusing this function of get1, where we can pass any sysID, any amount of fields, and passing a display value. And as we check every line of the code as a practice, this is what we recommend, is to log the functionality, so later on you will be able to debug, at the same time trace for success and failure of your code. This is best practices and company standards that I would recommend for you to use. And now we have the GlideRecord where you can pass any table. And as we scroll up, this is what we did earlier when we created an instance of the GlideRecordHelper. We are dynamically passing the table name. And always verify your code. And if there's no table name which is passed, then we throw an error. So it ensures integrity and reliability of your code. So if other developers will be utilizing your design, then they will be able to learn straight away how to use your code. And I'm saying code because we're starting small, but as you build an application or your own framework, you should also be applying the same techniques. And as we move forward to line 28, we always verify, and if the sysID is not available, then we throw in a null return. So you can still expand and give more context on this return value depending on your purpose, like providing sysID has not been found is another way. So as we do that, we have created an array, and again, we verify that the field's value is type array. And now it's verified as type array. We are pretty much sure that we can do a loop and get the return value depending on the fields which has been passed from the source. So you can be using client Ajax, or this can be coming from a service portal or a workspace, using server calls and accessing ServiceNow database with GlideRecord. And as we build the key value pair in this example, now we are confident that we are returning a result to the calling function. And now as we go to the BaseLogger that we have created, you can see that each step of the way, it can be a fail or success. The behavior of your application or your user is fully logged and traced, giving you a full picture of your implementation. If you find this helpful, please don't forget to buy me coffee. It will help further to support my channel and give you more tips and tricks using the ServiceNow framework, improving your JavaScript skills, and learning the software design patterns. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you on my next video.